Hello there, dear YouTubers. My name is King1993, and today is another day of me trying to explain another game which will be released. Okay, not this year, maybe next year, but overall, its process is already happening. Okay, now the same company which made a Punishing Grey Raven called Kuro Games is planning on making another game which is gonna be an open world, maybe MMORPG. I do not know. It is gonna be an MMORPG and a action RPG as well. Okay, so this game is called Wuthering Waves. Now, Wuthering Waves is going to be an open world, okay? And not only it is going to be an open world, rather it is going to be having almost the same fighting mechanics that of in Punishing Grey Raven. So whatever the fighting mechanics are, it is going to be available in this platform as well. Now, unlike Punishing Grey Raven, which the game was made from mobile first and then the PC version, in this case, the Withering Waves is going to be made for PC first and then it is going to be used on mobile. So it is going to be a cross-platform, but it is gonna be very good on the PC platform. Okay, now first of all, let's start with this trailer here. Okay, now in the first trailer, overall nothing is actually very interesting shown here. All it is shown here is this character walking, and there is water reversing. You will see. Okay, let's see where it is. Water is reversing. Okay, here it is. The water was going from left to right. Now it is going right to left. So a reversing effect is definitely happening. This this reversing effect is happening so much that dead bodies are basically rising from the ground. Now I do not know whether these dead bodies are 100% dead bodies or not. I do not know anything. Okay, so this is basically that teaser trailer. Okay, now the question is, why didn't I make this video before, as soon as it came out about 1 week ago? That is because most of the time what happens is, if something were to be seen as a trailer, but the overall gameplay is bad, most of the time that is what happens. But this time the gameplay came out, so I thought, okay, without wasting any more times, let's see what happens. Okay, so this one is basically the next trailer. This trailer basically gives an idea of what to expect, what type of enemy it is going to be happening. Okay, now obviously I kept this video voice low so that you can hear my voice of what I have to say. Now I do not know what this rock hold is. Maybe the studio it is working under. So overall game footage is going to be almost looking like this, almost. Okay, this is the teaser trailer, obviously, second teaser trailer, obviously. So yeah, from that point of perspective, it is not going to be 100%. It's going to be about 80 to 75% accuracy, as it is shown here. Okay, so this time in this trailer you'll be seeing the character, what the character actually looks like. Okay, so this is going to be the main character. Okay, because if you go and look at the screen of the Withering Waves, which I have subscribed, you can see this character here. Okay, now this type of hat is basically an indication that this character might be a artist of some sort, maybe, and overall the movement pattern of this character is going to be exactly what you are seeing here. So it seems like wherever that dust is going, that dust is basically making these enemies come out from the ground. Okay, and she is almost gonna be affected by it. Now if you see this mark here, this mark is similar to a mark which can be shown in Punishing Grey Raven. Now I do not remember where this mark was, but I can assure you that I have seen this exact mark in uh, punishing Grey Raven.
Which part of you will you save?
Okay, so the question remains, the last part is, which part of you will you save? Now, this basically is an indication there will be a certain choice of which side will be taking. I do not know. Like, this is what I think. Okay, uh, I might be wrong, so don't question me on that. Okay, now let's talk about this. The overall quality of this game is very good when you see a certain character is being detailed in such a very good manner as this. Now those are the enemies. Okay, so those are the enemies. Now you'll see that
What's
there
left
are
of
a few enemies here and there. For example, there is one, there is two, there is three, and here is another one,
touched by
four,
all this pain?
five. So whatever it is rising from the ground is basically wants to destroy anything that is living. Okay, what left untouched by all this pain.
Let the
Okay,
echo be heard.
okay. Now what is the echo be heard? That is another question. Like, is there a sound related thing? Because it says withering waves. Now, uh, what does the word withering means? Let's see. Withering. Mening, meaning. Okay, let's see. Withering meaning. Okay, so it is characterized by strong winds. Okay, so as you probably saw, there was some winds. Okay, as you probably saw that the girl was basically running away from some winds.
What is buried?
Okay, so as you probably see, there is some winds. Okay, which are basically causing this smoke to come forward to this person here. And withering, it basically is, this is what it means. Strong winds. Okay, strong winds. Okay, and withering waves. Now when it comes to waves, it basically says at the end that let the
Let
echo
the
be heard.
echo be heard.
Okay, so it basically means whatever is controlling the wind is using some sort of sound frequency to actually make this thing happening. So whatever it is happening, it is basically happening because of the sound, and that sound basically creates this wind, a strong wind to happen, and that strong wind basically causes this to happen. Okay, now this is the gameplay footage. Now the gameplay footage, it is written here, in-game footage for demonstration purpose does not represent the final quality. Even though it is not the final quality, it still looks a lot better. Okay, like you can see that this is a 3D rendered, so obviously, yeah, this is an authentic one, and it seems like this is a high quality upload, BT9, which is why this looks actually better than the previous one, which I saw from some other place. Okay, looks a lot uh, good in a good way. Okay, now as you can see overall from this point of view, you can probably see that everything looks almost similar to what should I call it, Tower of Fantasy. Okay, now this is the part which impressed me, like the running mechanism of how this character basically went from ground to the building and is jumping from one building to another. Now the okay, in the previous in some other video I was unable to read this thing. So this is Huang Long company, I guess, who basically make this thing. I do not know what this thing is. Normally, some people will say it is uh, a type of fruit or maybe something where water is stored. Some people might say that. but you can clearly see the amount of details put into it, where you can basically be able to read the name of the character which is wearing the things. Okay, and here is the jumping on the enemy from running up to a hill. Okay, a small hill or a small hilly area, hilly part. Okay, now the dodge mechanic in this game is actually a lot better than Genshin Impact. Okay, in Genshin Impact, even if you do not dodge it, if you have Zhongli as a shield, that's basically it. It basically removes the difficultiness. Okay, now here in this case, it is actually different. Even if you were to fully upgrade a character, if your experience with the character is not good, you will not be able to have a very easy time defeating the enemies. So yeah, the dodge mechanic in this game is gonna be very important. So as you probably saw, as soon as the dodge happen, the character basically is trying to counter the enemy right afterwards. Okay, so the dodge mechanic in this game is very important. And it seems like there will be some of these normal enemies. There will be these norm enemies, and there are gonna be some human type of enemies in the game as well. And there is again there is gonna be long jump, and long jump basically allows the characters to get into the air and then do a high attack. Okay, and this is basically a golem. Now most of these are coming out from the ground, so obviously having a golem is a normal thing. And yeah, this one is basically a limited time slot type of what should I call it, mechanics that basically slows times in which the enemies is unable to move faster. And the reason why it is a limited space, that is because it is gonna be an open world MMORPG, which is why if there are gonna be other player, then obviously this is an indication that the other player might get affected, which is why it is a limited area. Only when the other players are inside this bubble, only then they are gonna be slowed down. Okay, now in terms of fighting, okay, in terms of fighting, it is actually a lot faster and a lot more trickier than Genshin Impact. In Genshin Impact, if you do not dodge, nothing matters, because overall if you have a shield character, they basically take care of that most of the time. But here, if you don't dodge properly, then obviously your chances of survival is gonna be slow. And as you can see here, there are two types of boss. There are basically these boss which basically comes out from the ground, I guess, I do not know, but this boss can fly. Definitely it has wings. And there is this turtle or maybe tortoise boss. Now another thing about this game is it has parry system. Okay, see, when it first try to hit this character basically does the attack, but the second attack, look, the character is trying to parry the enemy's attack, and the enemy is taking damage. Okay, so yeah, there is parry system in this game, and there is three more female characters here. Okay, now another thing is, in case if you're wondering, is this does this game has male characters? Yes, you can basically see it from this place here, that this game is also going to be having male characters as well. Okay, and another few things that I would like to say is this game gonna be a Genshin killer? Now, truth to be told, I only saw only part of the gameplay, and I am highly interested in this game. Okay, but many people are already saying that Tower of Fantasy is basically a Genshin killer. Okay, now why is that? Because Genshin is basically a benchmark of what an MMO, not MMO, an open world 4-person RPG is gonna be like. Okay, and whatever Genshin provides, Tower of Fantasy is gonna be able to provide more than that, because Genshin Impact is a benchmark area, and people or company tend to go over the benchmark, which basically give them even more uh, uh, things that obviously the original will not be able to provide. Okay, that is one thing. Another thing about this game is this game is almost similar to Tower of Fantasy, because overall there will be fights where there is going to be most of the time characters that are going to be mechanoid, maybe, I do not know. It maybe, okay. So yeah, from that point of perspective, obviously, if you were to think that Genshin Impact is a benchmark and this is the result that gonna be overpass that benchmark provided by Genshin Impact, then obviously this game is gonna be a very good one. Okay. Yeah, like I am actually gonna say that if this game is able to provide almost the same content as a Tower of Fantasy or even more, then obviously this is gonna be called a Genshin Killer 2. So obviously, if you read the title, something like uh, Withering Wave, the Genshin Killer 2.0, then obviously this is basically what it means, okay? So anyway, if you find this video interesting, then please give a like and subscribe and click the bell notification icons so that I'll be able to provide you with more of this type of information on a regular basis. Thank you and see you again next time. And I hope this game is gonna be releasing as soon as possible, okay?